This is Ray Gano reporting live for This Week in Bible Prophecy, and I'm with Walid Shoebat. Walid is coming out with a new book July 10th, and it's called God's War on Terror. Walid, why did you write this book, and what's the premise of the book?
Well, the reason I wrote the book, because I wanted to expound on the major reason what caused me to come out of Islam and become a believer in the Bible and convert to become a Christian. A lot of people ask me, when I share given a testimony, I share all the evidence that I find from the Bible, and they always ask me, well, where's your testimony? Well, that is my testimony. I read the Bible and I discovered so many things in the Bible, and the crucial part of this book in my testimony, that is, when we as Muslims who become believers read the Bible, we discover different things that most Western analysts of the Bible do not see. We feel and we read what's in the Bible is regarding the enemy that is coming against Israel and Christianity in the ends of times. We believe that the Bible predicted this enemy and described Islam in the Bible, because most Westerners do not see Islam being in the Bible.
Well, there's some points that I've had a chance to read your manuscript, and there's some things that you pointed out. For example, the Antichrist will behead people. Islam beheads people. The Antichrist blasphemes God. The Mahdi blasphemes God. And there's a lot of correlations that you have shown with the Antichrist and the Islamic Mahdi. Correct?
Yes, that is correct. The Muslim world has been set up to accept Antichrist. In fact, I believe that Islam as a religion is the religion of Antichrist. Westerners are waiting for a one-world order. Well, Islam offers a one-world religion and a one-world government. Islam is not merely a religion, it is a constitution to be established throughout the whole world. When you compare the Mahdi of Islam, you will find out exactly what has been written in the Bible regarding the Antichrist. If the Antichrist establishes a 7-year peace treaty, well, the Mahdi also comes with a 7-year peace treaty. If the Antichrist will rule from the Temple Mount, or in other words, he will enter into the temple to rule the world, to proclaim himself as he is God. Well, the Mahdi in Islam, he also rules from the Temple Mount. If he establishes this 7-year peace treaty with Israel, the Jewish people, the Mahdi will establish the peace treaty with a descendant of Aaron. So many aspects. If he changes the laws and the times, remember Antichrist in Daniel, he attempts to change times and laws. Well, Islam attempts to change times and laws. What do the Americans think what is meant by Sharia law? Americans now are being introduced slowly into the religion of Islam and what's it about. And they are ignoring scripture. They're still hung up on the old outmoded theories on the Antichrist, that he is coming from the European Union, or he is a European Antichrist, he's a German Antichrist, or an Italian Antichrist. Well, when you ask an American analyst of the Bible, give me one reference in the Bible to prove that point, they will not find any. You always will see, whenever you discuss Antichrist with a Western analyst of the Bible, they will always go back to one place, Daniel chapter 2, because they take the sequential order of the head of gold, the silver, and the bronze, and the legs of iron being the Roman Empire. So they conclude that if the Antichrist comes from the toes, which is an extension of the iron legs, that means he must be Roman. But when the Western mindset think of a Roman Empire, they are always thinking in a Western sense of a Roman Empire. So they will make a Roman Empire being Rome or Italy. They keep forgetting that the Roman Empire ceased to exist in the West, yet continued to exist in the East, in Constantinople, which is today in Turkey. The keep forgetting that all scholars of the Bible agree that the Antichrist comes from what the Bible calls the little horn.
Yeah.
Well, the little horn comes from the Grecian Empire. Well, guess what? The Grecian Empire never encompassed Western Europe. So there is this whole concentration on Western Europe, a Western Antichrist, a Western entity of the beast, when they keep forgetting that the Bible is not talking about the West, it is really talking about the Eastern. And as well, they need to also remember that North Africa was considered part of the Western Roman Empire and not the Eastern Roman Empire as well. Those are all mentioned in the Bible. So when you put the picture and the puzzle together, and this book really takes the whole Bible and puts the puzzle in such a way that it is very clear for the Western mindset. By the time they read and finish the book, they will emerge as total believers in what we are proposing here. It is a Middle Eastern essence of this Antichrist, in which when you look at the Bible and you see all the areas where Jesus is fighting himself personally, he is fighting Muslim countries. If you go to Habakkuk chapter 3, the Lord comes to fight from Midian. You know, Midian is the brother of Ishmael. This is Arabia. In Isaiah 63, he fights Edom. Yet you see the Western mindset takes that word Edom and converts it without any evidence to become Rome. Why? Because some old tradition or rabbinical tradition that says that the Roman Empire, you know, extended from an Edomite lineage. In Isaiah 63, he fights Edom. Yet you see the Western mindset takes that word Edom and converts it without any evidence to become Rome. Why? Because some old tradition or rabbinical tradition that says that the Roman Empire, you know, extended from an Edomite lineage.
Well, let me ask you this. You talk about this in your book, but explain a little bit, because a lot of people focus on whoever was the destroyers of Jerusalem or the destroyers of the temple is where the Antichrist will come out of. And everybody says, oh, it was Rome. Well, actually, based on your book, you say it was the 10th Legion. Can you talk a little bit about this?
That's right. When Westerners think of a European Antichrist, and they will use Daniel chapter 9, but they will use it in a general sense without looking and basically putting together the exact verbiage of what is said in Daniel 9:27. And what it says is very clear: the people of the prince who is to come. Well, let's stop right here. People of the prince, the lineage or the hegemony, the progeny or the descendants of the prince who is to come. That is the Antichrist, who establishes a 7-year peace treaty. Remember, it says in verse 27, he will confirm a covenant. He is who? The prince. This prince is the Antichrist, because it can't be Titus.
No.
So it's saying the people of the coming future Antichrist, those will destroy the temple. If we go to find out who the people were, it's very clear. We can read the book of Josephus and find out who they are. That was Legion 10, Legion X. And that was composed, of different countries. Westerners don't understand. When they think Roman, Roman army, they will think, oh, okay, Italians, coming down from Italy to fight. No. The Roman legions were composed of the very nations and the very peoples that was composed of the structure surrounding the areas that they are in battle with. So if they are fighting in the Middle East, they're using the Eastern legions. Let's not forget, Titus was the commander of the Eastern legions of the Roman Empire. In other words, the Eastern people of the Roman Empire. And you can see them, who they are. Well, there is cohort Arabia, Arabs, cohort Syria, Syrians, cohort Thracia, Turks, cohort Petranium, Petra. That's the Arabs again. So it's the mixture of Arabs, Turks, and Syrians
who made up
these legion. So what it's saying is that the people of the prince, see, the people, these progeny. Now, this will fit perfectly with the little horn who comes from the Greco. These were the Grecian areas of the Roman Empire. So they will match perfectly with the little horn. It will match perfectly when we look at Revelation chapter 13, the body of a leopard, that's the Grecian, the feet of a bear, that's the Persian. Iran today, we hear the mess today coming from Iran. We hear the threats coming from Iran. The Babylonian mouth of the lion, that's in Revelation chapter 13. Now, Western analysts do not want to accept a Eastern composite of the Antichrist or the beast. So they will divorce these as geographical entities. What they will say, well, the beast is as fast as the leopard. So they will allegorize the composite of this beast in Revelation 13. Well, he stomps like a bear. He speaks like a lion. Okay, if we want to allegorize it as the speed of the Grecian Empire or the stompiness of the Medo-Persian Empire, then we have to also allegorize the statue. The head of gold. We have to allegorize the 10 horns. And these are not allegories of something. These are giving us geographic composites of where the beast entity comes from. So this is the problem with Western analysts. You can't use a allegorical interpretation here and allegorize Revelation 13 while you give the literals of Daniel 2 and so on and so forth. Those all match. All of these pictures or photos or composites that are given to us from the Bible really match perfectly with each other. They are very harmoniously put together by John and by Daniel to give us exactly the composite of this Antichrist, in which we see the spirit today. Who is the liar? He who denies that Jesus is the Christ. He is Antichrist that denies the Father and the Son. This is very crucial. The spirit of Antichrist, as it was from the beginning of the gospel, it was there, it will continue till the end. Antichrist must deny the Father. Antichrist must deny the Son. And that's what this book makes harmoniously, puts it together, puts the entire puzzle of the Bible. It is a work that is the first time that has ever been done in history. For someone to sit down and say, hey, let's take the entire Bible and put the whole prophecies together and put the whole composites together. Let us follow strict hermeneutical timelines. If we study hermeneutics, it insists that we take the literal parts of the Bible and then superimpose these literal parts of the Bible upon or on top of the allegoric parts of the Bible. When in the West, the biggest mistake that they do is say, let's study Bible prophecy. What goes on in the Western mindset is this: oh, we are going to study Revelation, or maybe we're going to study the book of Daniel. You know, that's not what the studying prophecy is. Studying prophecy is to study the entire Bible, hermeneutically, taking all the literals. Once we take all the literals in the Bible, we see where Christ fights Muslim nations. We superimpose them on Revelation. We superimpose them on the statue of Daniel 2. We superimpose them in Daniel chapter 7. You know, we superimpose them in so many where the beast has the claws of the brass. Most, if you ask any Western analyst, you know, most Western analysts say, what is the claws of the brass? Dude, what are you talking about? It's, I mean, it's bringing out verses from the Bible that are rarely ever discovered or even discussed. You know, it's put on the sidelines of Bible prophecy teachers. No one is looking really at those verses, and they're very crucial verses that will become the cornerstone of the Bible on the second coming. The nails of bronze, there are 10 fingers on the beast, and the bronze is always, or the brass is always a composite of the Greco parts of the Roman Empire, in which we see exactly the trouble that is coming today from the Muslim world.
And in fact, you were touching upon the different battles. Everywhere you look in the Bible that you mentioned, for example, I believe in Ezekiel 30-39 and Psalms 83 and I believe Joel 2, and all these battles, wherever Christ is battling or wherever Israel is battling, they also happen to be Muslim nations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, even in Psalm 83, they would think, well, that's a battle that happens with the Muslims where God destroys the Muslims that are coming against Israel. You know, only recently the Christian world, or the Zionist Christian, evangelical Christian movement, have been exploring Psalm 83. Only recently they're looking at these parts of the Bible and saying, wow, this seems to fit things that we've seen in our lifetime, like the 6th Day War, or like the Yom Kippur war, or like 1948 war. However, it is significant if you look at the last verse in Psalm 82, arise, O Lord. 82, verse 8, I believe. Arise, O Lord, judge the earth. Now the Lord arising from His throne, He is going down to judge the earth, is something of a significant value. It is beyond just an event that happens prior to the Messianic coming. It is part of the Messianic second coming. You see? And then Him arising to judge the earth matches Joel 3. Now no Western analysts of Bible prophecy will disagree that Joel 3 is really talking about the judgment of the nations for the mistreatment of Israel and for dividing the land of Israel, in which we see already happen in front of our own eyes in our time. So the ability to put these parts of the Bible together and show the full puzzle to the American mindset, because the Bible is an Eastern book. We must study it from an Eastern mindset and not a Western mindset. So what we do is we bring the Eastern concept of Bible prophecy. It is a new paradigm. It is a new idea in looking into the Bible in obedience to what is said in the book of Daniel, because the book of Daniel makes a promise that in the ends of time, knowledge will increase. And what the Bible is talking about is biblical knowledge, or our understanding of the prophetic word will increase. This is the time that we just see the first fruits, if you will, of what God has intended, really what the picture is regarding the ends of times. So it's a new paradigm, and it is a very old paradigm at the same time, because what we do is we take lots of the Eastern mindsets from the ancients of time, like John of Damascus, and show how he viewed the Bible, show how he he showed Islam playing a major role in the Antichrist world and the Antichrist spirit. And let's not forget, John of Damascus, he was there at the time of Islam, at the advent of Islam.
Yeah.
So he saw Islam from its conception.
Yeah.
And he was documenting. It's not only us. We're not coming forward with something new.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're taking the analysis of all the best of ancient times that did see Islam as playing the major role, and put the entire puzzle of what they felt, what the Bible was speaking of. We're talking about some of the greatest of the greatest, like Sir Robert Anderson.
Yeah.
You know, he was the one that put the 70 weeks of Daniel. He said, when we look at the beast, it's not the Adriatic. What the Bible is talking about is the Levant. The Levant being Eastern Roman Empire, or the Greco parts of the Roman Empire.
One of the things that you said that really caught me is it all boils down to almost one situation, and that is Galatians 4. And in that, Galatians 4, and this is when you showed it to me, I never really saw this before, but it all boils down to the sons of Sarah and the sons of Hagar.
That's right.
And so, based upon what you're saying here in the book, it's not the EU, it's not America, it's not Italy or the Vatican and everything. It all boils down to the age-old sons of Sarah and the sons of Hagar.
Lots of, especially, there's something happened recently. They take Galatians 4 that talks about Sinai in Arabia, and they would think this is talking about Jabal al-Lawz, that Sinai was originally in Saudi Arabia. You know, why would somebody think that the intent of these verses of Galatians 4 is for simply an archaeological discovery? You know, where is the real Sinai? That's not what it's talking about. It says, here's the battle. The war is between the children of Sarah, the children that comes out of freedom, and the children of Hagar, that is bondage, the bond woman. Okay? It's telling you this is the allegory, and that it gives you the literal. You see, the children of Sarah from Jerusalem, which lives in bondage. In other words, there has not been the redemption fully yet upon Jerusalem until the Messiah comes. And the children of Hagar, that is Sinai, which is in Arabia. So we see in Arabia that we know that this is talking about the desert. This is talking about a war between Jerusalem and Arabia. It's exactly what we see. In fact, Jesus himself warned. They asked him, when are you going to come? And this is the first thing, let no one deceive you. That's his first instruction. Let no one deceive you. And we look at the deception. It's galore today. Yet nobody, very few are heeding to this very warning. Let no one deceive you. When they tell you, here he is, in the desert, do not believe them.
That seems pretty clear to me.
Right, and no one's focusing on this. Well, we don't know what he's talking. They really, they generalize it, they allegorize it. We need to study the Bible extremely carefully, and that's what this book is trying to do. It takes with total respect of the verses and the text of the Bible, with full hermeneutical rules, because you see what happens in the West. If you want to study Bible prophecy, and I thank God for your program, because if you look at the internet, just go to the internet with Bible prophecy and read the array of confusion that is out there. The question is that why do we have thousands of interpretations? Does God have thousands of interpretations? No. God has a strict interpretation of what He is intended to mean. The reason we have all these interpretations is because in the West what happened is they began to allegorize the literal and literalize the allegorical. They have lost the concept of hermeneutical laws. They have lost the usage of the keys that the Bible gave us to unlock the secrets of the Bible. If we look at the name of the beast, they think a name of the beast, what is a name? They would think the beast will be Barack Hussein Obama. A name is like a name, Paul, John. No, that's not what it's talking about. But these are secrets that the Bible gives us to unlock all the things in the Bible. If the beast has on the foreheads of the people the name of the beast, well, we need to look about the word name. How does the Bible view the word name? It views it, his name shall be called Emmanuel. Emmanuel, which means God with us. So a name, in essence, is the creed. It is the declaration of our faith. We believe in the Emmanuel. His name shall be called Emmanuel. So that the name that we believe in is Emmanuel. God came down, visited us. You see, they have a creed. It's a blasphemous creed that denies that Jesus is the Son of God, that declares another God, a foreign God, as Daniel proclaimed, because Daniel says they will worship a foreign God whom you never knew. It's a singular God, it's a God of war, it is a foreign God, according to Daniel 11, chapter 11, verse 37. You know, it is a foreign God. He will advance the glory of his God by what? War.
Sword.
You see, the sword. Exactly what we see Islam doing today. Advancing the cause of Allah, which is Satan in disguise, by the usage of war. It does not honor women. It changes the laws of the world. Just what the Bible says in a very simple fashion. It is not that God forgot to tell us. It is that we, with a Western mindset here, forgot to adhere what God already wrote on the walls a long time ago. The writing is on the wall. People need to look at the writing and recognize that the Bible is very simple and very direct.
Walid, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy day and spending a little bit of time here with our show, This Week in Bible Prophecy. So folks, this is Ray Viana reporting live for This Week in Bible Prophecy with Walid Shoebat.